just discussing being a millennial. Like, what are the details exactly? I always was under the impression that millennials are in their 30s. Yeah, they could be 30. They're younger they're 30-ish and younger.
Yeah, and I always thought millennials were like more the 20-something, late teens or teens.
See, I think that's something completely different.
Because I just call all young people millennials.
But everyone young. Okay, that's like
for little kids. But yeah, that's kind of true because, you know, if you want to delve deep into...
Yeah, what is Mr. Google,
I guess
Dr.
they're
Google
saying
say?
anyone born, you know, from anyone between the ages of 23 to 38 are considered millennial, and anyone born from 97 onwards is part of a new generation.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, we can divulge it right now. I'm not ashamed to say it. We are on the edge. We scraped in by the
almost. Oh yes, we did scrape in.
You scraped in more than me.
Yeah,
but I'm scraping in. I just turned 38.
I just don't consider myself a millennial at all.
This is the thing, because we're right on the edge. We're like the last year of what is considered a millennial. Mm-hmm. Like we're on the end of a millennial, right? We're the oldest millennial. We're old millennials.
We're old millennials.
We don't kind of get.
So what would you call kids these days? Like I'm talking about like teenagers.
Hooligans? No.
I think what makes
they're not millennials.
Millennials or this new generation. Now I guess I it's weird because I would always say, oh, millennials. I'm not going to be like, oh, the new generation. Then I sound like I'm 80. But I think
they're the young people.
I think what makes them different from us, even though I guess technically we're considered millennials, is that with them you have to gain their respect. They don't see older generation and respect them. You have to gain their respect.
Jeez, that's terrifying.
And that's how they treat you like.
Well, I wanted that when I was a teenager.
Yeah, like you, but you wouldn't treat your elder as you treat your friend.
It's
but
true.
Over here,
it's true.
In this generation,
they demand respect. Like if you show me respect, I'll show you respect,
absolutely.
No matter how old you are.
Exactly. Everyone to them is.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's to me
a young person,
a young
teen, the youth of
today.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right, because I have a child who is of that. I think they could be classified as the new generation.
Yeah,
and she has a cousin, so my cousin's children as well are the same age, and we were out once, and her mother says, respect your elders, and she immediately, without even flinching, on the beat, timed it perfectly. She says, respect your youngers. Just like with the sass, with just the sass and the response back. You know, if I did that when I was a kid, I'd get slapped across the face and the head.
Yeah.
If I talked back to elders. When they said respect your elders, I'd have to shut up.
Right, and I don't think that it's like that.
It's not like that anymore.
No. I think things have changed. Everyone should be respectful, but you need to gain their respect as much as vice versa. It needs to work both ways.
How do you think that you gain their respect? Is it just by showing that you're not an a-hole? Like, how do you gain the young people's respect?
You need to treat them with respect. You shouldn't talk down to them, down like they're
as
a
if they don't
kid,
know,
as if they don't know.
But they know a lot. They know a lot.
Smart.
They are privileged to access all the information on the interweb.
Yes,
purposely speaking like an old person. They know everything. They have information at the tips of their fingers. They are privy to everything. I don't think there's much that they don't know that they can't find out.
No, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, how they discipline and treat their kids. You know, like millennials and new generations having kids, or the new generation having kids, will be very different to how we, you know, are with our kids and how our parents were with us. It's a completely different time.
Yes. I've heard our parents' generation. I've heard people from that generation, so the borderline, so the baby boomers and just a bit younger than them, often say that the new generation, the ones like us who are considered millennials, I'm gonna keep going with that. I'm considered a millennial. The millennials and the new generation, the way they parent is making people feel entitled and not disciplining enough and not working hard enough. So they actually almost don't have any resilience. Like, they think they are wonderful. So like our parents' generation thinks that we and people younger than us are entitled. We think that we're so wonderful. We don't have to work hard. We're like, they think that we have a lot easier than them, but we think that they had it a lot easier. So it's like, is it this constant generation gap that's always going to exist? That's always ever changing?
I think it's just changed in general a lot. I think we are, us and, you know, ages from our age and down are more open-minded. They don't fit a structure. Yes, there are still plenty of people that do still have that structure, but it's just the world has changed. You know what I mean? Like, kids are now saving up money for their avocado toast. Society's changed so much that...
You were there when the internet was born. I came to your house. You were the
That's
first
why
one.
I feel ancient.
You were the first one I ever...
Yeah.
You were my only friend. You were the first person probably in the class to get internet. I
had people coming
I would
over
rush
all the
over,
time.
be at Beck's house as much as possible every day if I could. And we'd like dial up and we'd get on there, get in the chat room. It was like it was like the best thing in the whole universe.
Right.
Being in those chat rooms.
People laugh at us now when they're like, they were born with internet. They were born with smartphones.
This is where it lies. This is where lies the generations, this how you saying that the world has changed and the generations changing with it. We remember a time. The millennials are the last generation to remember a time. Some of them with and without this kind of technology.
With
the
old
ones
and new.
The new generation don't ever know a time without the new. So they are born with the technology that we see today. They don't remember a time. They don't know. My kid doesn't know what a cassette. She never heard what a cassette. She's like, CD player. What's that? The digital natives. And they were born with it, native to technology and digital world. We were not. I remember a time when you meet at the mall, if you call it whatever, the shopping center, the mall, and you'd agree to meet at a certain time in a certain place, and if shit went down,
you had no phones. Forget it. You met there. You got there at the time.
You deal with it.
Everything's changed. That's why I don't consider myself as a millennial. I didn't go to high school with a phone. Like, I skipped that whole.
But we had a phone when we finished high school
later. But I didn't grow up with any of these things. That's why, to me.
But you are technically. We're aged
Technically,
old
I
millennials.
kind of get it, but I don't get it at all. It's just a different. It's just a different world. I'm definitely around a lot of millennials. All the time, or the new generation, being in work environments and
I have
just
younger.
With what I do is just I'm constantly around these like millennial new generation people.
I'm exposed to them, and I have two younger half siblings who are
but
also millennials, but young millennials.
Yeah, so I get it, and I still don't get it. Like
what don't you get? Let's break it down.
It's hilarious. Like, they'll just say certain things, and I'm like, oh, what's that? I feel so old. Or
like an app?
Oh no, just like in terms of words, like I'm so shook, or I am like there's just certain words
That's pop culture reference as well.
Yeah, there's always like every month is a new word.
Slang.
Every month is
or a new
something
acronym
else.
Abbreviation.
Yes.
Like I actually don't know all of them. Yeah.
Or like like even I'm just like, what is that?
When they text and it's the acronym of the you can put 3 or 4 words together in an acronym or abbreviation. Some of them I don't know.
I don't know most of the stuff that they are talking about.
Aww.
And it's
Old
hilarious.
lady millennials. We are old lady millennials.
We are. This is the interesting thing. There are people our age and above, the non-millennials, that are trying to fit into a millennial world.
What's that generation? Are they Gen Y?
I'm not sure.
Let's have a look. So what you're saying is, say 38 plus
38 plus
to like 45 or 48.
Right.
They're like in no man's land. They're
They
not
are.
millennials. They remember all the stuff that we remember. So they remember a time, actually they remember more of a time when there wasn't technology, but they were also like in their early 20s maybe, or mid 20s when the internet was born and spawned. And then so they're not, but they're just a little bit older than us, and I feel bad for them always. Actually, my older sister is one of these people.
Yeah, I just feel like you've got people our age and above trying to fit into the millennial world. They're trying to dress like the new generation, trying to act trying to fit in. And I don't know if that is
Generation X.
It is Generation X.
I always forget. I was like, I know there's Y and obviously the X. I've learned that at uni and I forgot.
How do you feel about the older generation trying to be the younger generation, trying to wear their Fila slides or their sneakers? They're
definitely following Kardashian world.
Right.
They're doing the bike pants with the half top and the big chunky
and the crop tops,
and the big puffer jackets
and the all of that. They're getting everything they need to get done to look almost like
correct.
Like
so they're
not
they are not millennials, but they're trying to keep up in a millennial world.
Right.
I think
we are living in a millennial world.
We are living in a millennial world.
Or as they say, new generation. Yes, it's strange. Because I'm sure these kids are looking at, your 40-somethings going,
ancient.
Why are they dressed
ancient,
right?
Why
are they dressed like that? Or why are they dressed like,
do you think
why
so?
are
Or
they
they saying, wow, that's how that's cool.
Us?
Do you think they're...
I don't think so. Oh, I think it just depends. I think it depends. I think if you can rock a really hot outfit, have your hair done, your face done, and they probably wouldn't even know how old these people are. And
it's true.
And be like, okay.
True, because they can make themselves look so much younger.
Yeah, she's keeping up.
There have been recently new guidelines for generations, like from birth years for millennials, Gen X, and post millennials, inverted commas. So not the new gen. They also called post millennials. The new kids you're talking about,
right? Which are soon to
see. We're learning about all this. We're not like social experts. What do you call them?
I think you kind of have to
people
know.
Like that.
I think you kind of have to be in touch with what's going on now, as well as.
Is it sad that old Generation X's are trying to be like millennials? Because we're not. Do you think that we're trying to be like post millennials?
I don't feel like I'm trying to be like the new generation or a millennial, so to speak. I do still have that, in terms of what I wear and things like that. Yeah, I still want to keep up with the times, but I don't need to go too much of an extreme in that. I was never a suit corporate person, but that's just because I didn't
work in
in a corporate world, so it's just not my wardrobe. I feel like I'm somewhere in between.
I actually feel like I relate more to the Gen X's than I do the millennials. Yeah. Even though I'm part of a millennial group, I relate more to the older crew.
I think I'm a bit of both. I do think it can be tiring. It can be refreshing being around.
Very refreshing. You can get very new perspectives for sure.
Totally. But I can also find them very annoying.
So annoying. We love you.
We love you guys. It's quite interesting. And everyone's trying to I think everyone's like trying to find their place and trying to find their way.
Social media makes it interesting too. This is interesting. This article said that the new millennial cutoff of 1996 for a post-millennial generation begins because it's important, because it points to a generation that is old enough to have experienced and comprehend 9/11, while also finding their way through the 2008 recession as young adults. So I think whoever the people are that are marking the indicators of these points in time that divide generations, it's about what they remember, what they've been exposed to, and how it affected them.
I think it's also making this generation or reminding them about things that have happened as well. So they know, like they should know about history. They should know about things that have gone on before their time, not just
100%
about themselves and about what's going on right now.
100%. I'm afraid that they're not learning enough about what happened.
Of course. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in the next, say, 10 to 20 years when the generation before us is kind of gone, or they're all, you know, because I think
I'm very interested. I feel like
lot.
the new generation are beyond like advanced. They get things
advanced and lazy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're advanced, but they can be lazy.
And they're very switched on. Like they are so perceptive. I find that generation very perceptive. They really know what's going on. Like they're very in tune to society, and
but
they can see truth.
Are they as present as maybe we were when they're
in their phones
or in their watching Netflix?
But I don't think their future is going to demand being present. I think they're going to be hooked into robots, personally. I'm down. Plug me in.
Scary times.
Plug me in. So this is interesting. I'm going to go through this because the silent generation was 1928 to 45. That's 73 to 90 years old. Then the boomers, obviously. 46 to 64, our parents. Technically, my husband is Gen X, but technically so are we. We are literally, I know that, you know, astrology has cusps. You can be a generational cusp. Boom! Generational cusp. Boom! Okay, Gen X. What? Gen X and millennials, you can be born 1965 to 1980. So he's 38 now, but in a few months he'll be 39. So he's technically,
I guess,
a millennial now,
right?
But also an Xer now, according to these breakdowns. And we are millennials born between 1981 and which is us, 81 to 1996. And the post-millennials are everything after to present.
I think that this is a good scientific breakdown, but I do think if you... Okay, so you sit down and if you watch enough Kardashians and Real Housewives, or well, not Real Housewives, if you watch enough Kardashians and you're surrounded by maybe people that are 5 years younger than you, you're going to probably act like and feel like you are that generation.
Yeah, and you're going to dress like them and look like them, but you might not actually raise your kids like them, because the old, we're talking about, so the X's or the old millennials are looking like new generation, but they are acting like still in that old way of being quite strict.
Yes, that's true. I think maybe it's confusing to millennials because we have like 40, 50-year-olds. You know, you've got, oh my God, Gwen Stefani, who looks amazing. You've got like Jennifer Lopez. They're all like 50. They look
just
so
unattainable
good.
Feats of...
It's incredible. So they look like they're younger.
But J-Lo's 50, right?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's insane. So they look younger, but I'm sure they still, you know, they're in
their view of the world, or the influences that have happened to them and what they remember as children growing up will be vastly different to.
Of course. They're just trying to keep up with the times in terms of what they're wearing and their looks, but
staying relevant
to the young millennial. They're still trying to make their money. They're still trying to like adapt to the world now, and they're doing a great job, you know.
I don't think they're selling. I don't think they're setting trends though. That generation, she's just like, I feel like J-Lo is like the epitome of, you know, what you could be like, what the Fountain of Youth could be like. But I don't think she's setting trends anymore.
No, that's true.
It's all the new
Kylie
generation
Jenner,
now.
and
Yeah.
I don't even this. I think
people. I'm not thinking Kardashian. I know that it's easy to refer to them as for every social cultural reference.
It's hard not to. There's so many of them.
But I'm like,
I'm
a bit more indie, and I'm thinking like those new musicians like Billie Eilish and like, you know,
new generation.
She's new generation, and she's different. She sets a trend. I feel like.
Yeah, she's definitely a trendsetter.
Yeah, but yes, you're right. Kylie Jenner does do it for the new kids.
Yeah,
definitely.
some of them,
but she also does it for the old ones. She does it for the exes. My sister follows her.
Well, your sister follows all the Kardashians.
Shout out.
Shout out. And yeah, no, Billie Eilish is a good one. I'm just trying to see. I'm not, and you can go even further. What is your take on this JoJo Siwa? Is it Siwa? Gosh,
the bow girl.
The bow girl.
I just know her bows because I've bought one for someone.
But is your daughter into her?
No, not at all. She thinks she's majorly annoying.
Okay, that's nice to hear.
But my kid, well, she is
your youngest.
My daughter, youngest daughter is not like not very into bows and dancing and like like
right,
being girly.
Right. Well, that's nice and refreshing to hear that. You know,
but she never was really into it. But there's like a ton of kids that are. She's making a lot of money.
Lots of like so much money. She's got so, you know, it's insane. I don't know too much about her because I can't. She's just a lot.
A lot of energy there.
A lot of energy. I feel like she's maybe the new Hannah Montana or something.
Definitely, but not as cool. Hannah Montana was actually cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like we're all just trying to, you know, I think it's good to still have your values, you know, with how you grew up. But trying to fit in and adapt a bit more isn't really a bad thing unless you're like, you know, my mum's age trying to rock some
fearless slides, leg warmers. But you know what? I laugh when I see all this again. Like I went into the shops and the 90s. Like I went into a shop yesterday. Beck, I couldn't do it. I was looking around like, oh my God, this is too soon. Like I had this. And I was laughing like, you know, when I see all the fearless slides, like, and the fearless shorts, like my dad's friends wore all that. Like I remember them rocking that, and now like it was daggy to me then. Like, oh, that's what all men wear, but now it's like old man look is cool with the like socks
and with the socks up and the sneakers. I still
the socks with
weird.
The slides.
Oh, and the slides, yeah. But everyone's wearing these like dad sneakers now. Have you noticed with their socks up? And
yeah.
Tracksuit or their sweats or whatever it is.
That's what my dad was wearing at tennis like every, you know, Wednesday afternoon. You know, like it's all coming back, and I saw marble wash denim yesterday. A marble wash denim skirt, and I was like, nah, not happening. Nah.
No, I think, you know what? I think I can't see me rocking all of that stuff. Like I may adapt a little bit.
I adapted a bit. I got a bit of subtle fluoro.
You
know?
Yes.
And it has to be sort of a classic style because that could always be wearable. But I remember my sister as a teenager had fluoro shirts and matching fluoro socks.
She's excited to bring all of that
back. No, but see, I laugh and I don't get excited when I see that. I think, oh man, I remember this. I don't want to do this again. I see the checkered shirts. Hello, remember? it wasn't that long ago we were in checkered shirts with denim and Timberlands. Do you remember that look when it was hobo
Tims
style and
are
like
Tim's back in now?
yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, it's been, I do admit to watching all this stuff, and
It's not.
I look at it.
I've seen an episode or two.
Right, but I'll adapt, but I'll still stick to my ways.
Right on.
Can we say it? Can we say it?